Welcome, everybody, back to the B-Main, episode number 20. It is the month of October. We just took a 3-week break because we wanted to align with the NASCAR schedule to get our episode 21 out at Championship Weekend. But this is episode number 20, another milestone for Gavin and I, and we're really excited to continue to bring you episodes every other week and, hope for the day that comes that we can bring you an episode every week. So maybe the future will look towards that. Let's talk about the headlines for this episode. NASCAR heads into its last cutoff race at Martinsville. Gavin will be in attendance, so we'll get a upfront view and some weekend posts this weekend of his adventures and what's going on live right in its space. 3 major champions were crowned this past weekend. Technically 4, 2 CARS Tour champions with the Pro Late Models and Late Model stocks, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, as well as the High Limit Sprint Car Series. So tons of champions. Oh, and as well as the Smart Modifieds as well. So technically it's 5 champions from probably different
three
series.
3 championship events.
3 championship events. 5 in total, yes, because the CARS Tour and Smart Mod, they were combined all into one weekend, one day. And, of course, David Gravel made a bit of a controversial race-winning move at Lincoln Park with Buddy Kofoid. We could talk about that. And as also, Brad Sweet set to retire from full-time racing in the High Limit Racing Series. A lot of interesting topics. We got a ton with NASCAR as well. We got a lot to talk about today. Gavin, let's go ahead and get into it, as always, with the Asphalt section, and we're going straight into the CARS Tour.
Man, championship night at Wilkesboro. First of all, what a better place to have your championship weekend than North Wilkesboro as a short track series. I mean, you saw that track set dormant for 30 years, and now they're back having short track championship weekends. It's perfect, I think.
I love it as a facility. It's been updated.
It's awesome.
It has amenities that are up to par with hosting an event like that. I think there are definitely other tracks that could host a CARS Tour championship. There's some great race tracks out there that have the facilities as well. But I'm glad that it's at a racetrack that has good facilities. With everything being updated at North Wilkesboro from 2022, it's a great place to host the championship. Where do you want to go? Kind of lead us into this. I think you've got a better idea than me.
Well, let's start out with the Pro Late Models because that's what started out today, early in the afternoon. Luke Baldwin ended up on the pole with it was a loaded race of drivers. Ben Mayer did have the Drivers' Championship locked up just by starting the race, so congratulations to him. He had a great season. So I think for the pros, I think we just really break down the race itself more than the championship battle because, Ben Mayer had earned his way to that championship all season long leading up to it. But the race itself was a pretty fun Pro Late Model race. Keelan and Kevin Harvick, the last round of the Harvick Cup for this year, Keelan ended up absolutely whipping his dad in the record between the two of them. Yeah,
well, and I think Kevin just got a little bit unlucky. I think
he
had some close battles. They've had mechanical problems. They had, I don't remember what, he had an engine problem at North Wilkesboro.
He had an incident in one race.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it. I think, honestly, Keelan, he's a good driver. But I think he kind of got lucky in the battle between him and his dad, that his dad kind of came up with all the errors that really weren't of his own doing. Obviously, he's a NASCAR champion. He's a veteran, and so I really would have wished that we could have seen it where it would have been really straight up, because I feel like there wasn't many weekends where it was straight up. But again, nonetheless, that's racing. So at the end of the day, Keelan's car stayed together, and Keelan had good competition. He won 4 CARS Tour races this year, and he won 2 CARS Tour West. That's 6 Pro Late Model races total throughout the year against some heavy competition. And he even bested Luke Baldwin in this race.
Yeah, and this was, I think, maybe Keelan's most impressive win so far. I know he had the win at Hickory where he led flag to flag, but I think with this being such a large field with so many great drivers, Brenden Lopez brought 3 cars this weekend. And to see the way he raced head-to-head with Luke Baldwin, who we can both agree is going to be around racing, especially NASCAR, for a long time.
Yeah.
So to see Keelan be able to do that at the age he's at, like we have said all year long. I feel like every episode I come back with something else that he's done that I'm like, man, this kid is good.
Yeah, he is. And I think he'll continue to develop, especially at the
Oh,
age
yeah.
he's at. I think he's one of the most mature young racers. I'd put him alongside, in my eyes, you know me, Darren Krantz Jr., and how
Yeah.
mature he is behind the wheel, in front of the camera, how he is with drivers, with adults. You know, I think he's a really well-raised young man. I think he's going to be a great driver. I think you know, obviously, his dad's NASCAR champion. He's got plenty of money. And so Keelan doesn't have money problems. But what I appreciate about Keelan, besides his talent, is that he respects his equipment. You know, there are a lot of drivers out there
Yes.
that have money and don't understand the work hours that are put into those race cars. They don't understand the respect for the equipment, for the other people that are putting their hands on the car. And I don't know if Keelan's working on the car. I imagine he might still be learning. I imagine he's probably interested.
I feel like he's around when they're working on the car, even if he's not one of them hands-on in the shop. I feel like he is there. I mean,
And
there's no
even
way
if he's
he's not there and watching.
And even if he's not, he still
He's-
has that respect for his equipment and for the other drivers on track. You know, you won't see Keelan going out there and being impatient too often. You know, obviously, again, he's still young. He's going to make mistakes, but none of those are racecraft mistakes.
No, and I mean, he made a move on Luke Baldwin where he did wash up into him a little bit one lap, didn't complete the pass, but instead of, getting frustrated with Luke and, roughing him up a little bit, he just backed off behind him and just completely started over the process of getting around him and made it around him eventually. And that was a really mature moment to me because when I saw him throw in quite a haymaker of a slider, I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is going to be the first really controversial move he makes. And he backed off a little bit and gathered himself and made the pass the old school right way. And that was super cool to me to watch. I think that was one of the best battles all day across all three races, really.
Yeah.
Was between the two of them.
And I think, Baldwin expressed, that shared respect. He got out of the car after finishing second, and he was like, he raced me clean. We had a fun time racing. Respect to him getting it done. He ended up having a better car than me in the end. The track kind of fell the way of Keelan, and again, Baldwin wasn't going to give it up, and he didn't go down without a fight. And I want to transfer this as well to Baldwin. Just locked up his second Smart Modified Tour championship, so 2 in a row. I really want to know where he goes next. What's his next play? Because he's raced in the CARS Tour, never the late model stock division, but he's gone in and out on the pros. But I want to know what his next play is because we saw him do a few truck starts this season. I think they might be trying to find the money to get maybe a truck season together. I wonder if they're going to be able to maybe make a truck season next year. I think it's probably unlikely just with trying to find funding, not because of talent. But I wonder if he's not able to do a full-time truck season next year with a team because of funding or, a deal not kind of lining up. I wonder what his plan is. I wonder if he plans to run the Smart Modified Tour again and do the same stuff with pro late models, or maybe he runs a full season late model stock in CARS Tour, or maybe he runs a Whelen Modified Tour season, because I would love to see that from him.
And I would be interested to see him go from the Smart Modifieds to the NASCAR Tour mods because they're pretty similar cars, I think. I think maybe they run a different tire, but I think they're almost the same car.
I mean the Whelen mods have more horsepower.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, I would be interested to see because when I was watching that race at Wilkesboro, in what little bit of the smart mods I watch, it seems like it is a little bit more compact of a field, that the haves and the have-nots aren't as spread out. And, you have Bobby Labonte and Ryan Newman that run the smart modifieds all the time. So you have drivers that which I know Bobby Labonte is way older than he was when he was running Cup. But you have two drivers who are really, really successful Cup Series drivers. So it's an easy benchmark to compare a driver to.
Yeah. So
and I want to know what he would do in the Tour NASCAR Tour mod, which is you know, a more powerful car. I guess maybe a higher series on the ladder, but against different drivers in a more spread out field, just to see how he would perform. And I'm interested to see how the two series would really stack up head to head.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. Part of me thinks, though, if you've got the money to run a Whelen Modified Tour season, you could definitely find the money to run truck season. So,
I don't know.
dude, Whelen is expensive, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you remember we talked to Beers back in one of our first episodes, and he said the money for him wasn't even near close to run ARCA races.
Really? Well, anyway, it may be. I think it might be different for a lot of people because I was talking to this guy who I run in with the league I run, and in 2011, it was $1.5 million at the end of his season that they spent.
Oh.
Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe it's different per teams or with what have you.
Yeah, I got you.
But I don't know. But if the money was there, I'd love to see him run a Whelen Tour season.
I would love to see him run a truck season if the money was there.
If I'm balancing the two, I'm taking trucks for sure.
Yeah.
Just talking about the mods, if he was going to run smart versus Whelen.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see. I'm just super interested to see where he goes because he's got a lot of potential and I
think so too.
Been fast. He's fast in every car he's gotten in.
Well, and we even mentioned possible ARCA.
Yeah, and he has ties to Ford, which Ford doesn't have a super invested ARCA program right now.
Yeah.
So I think ARCA is honestly less likely than trucks for Luke Baldwin.
That's a good point. I didn't think about his Ford affiliation.
Yeah, because AM Racing has an ARCA team, but it's not a full-time ARCA team.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess it's Rhett Jones Racing, not a... Well, AM Racing and Rhett Jones both have Ford ARCA teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's going to... I don't see him running ARCA next year.
Yeah.
And I think going from the CARS Tour to ARCA at a young, developing driver age wouldn't be as helpful as the situation like we saw with Butterbean, who, by the way, is the ARCA champion.
Right. Well, and we're going to get to that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I think you bring up a great point with the Ford affiliation. Let's jump back into the CARS Tour. I don't think too much more really happened within the Pro race. I think there was some wrecks. Jade, she had a decent run,
save.
But she had another excellent save. So, but besides that, I think really it was an all-out battle between Keelan Harvick and Luke Baldwin. So then we move on to late model stocks. And so coming into the race, Lewis had a 12-point lead with the last race at Tri-County. And he also had some bonus points. I was listening to Eric and Blake talk about it throughout the broadcast. And, there's a bonus point for winning or starting on the front row. Like there's one for starting on pole, and there's a different, one for starting on the front row. I don't know what the points are there. And then there's a point for leading a lap. So he had at least 2 bonus points at the start of the race. So the gap was at minimum 14. And besides winning the race, I think is an extra 4 points compared to second place. So I think if he finished second, then if Hall finished second, then Lewis would have had to finish 15th or worse.
Lewis had to have a really bad day.
Yes, and he didn't. And I can't say I'm surprised because he won at Wilkesboro earlier this season when they had it on FS1. And so
I think super fast that night, by the way.
I think Hall was just going to have Lewis was going to have to wreck for Hall to win it. And which really stinks. I think Hall was very consistent this season, because I think Lewis was fairly inconsistent. Had the wreck at Hickory, I can't remember where else he wrecked, but I know he had at least 2 other DNFs, but he had more wins, and he had I think Hall had some good top 10s when he needed good top 5s, and so I really was surprised to see the speed kind of trail off for that junior motorsports team, because they started off the season so hot. And I really wondered where it went, because Hall's a great driver, and I don't think it was him, but I don't want to also blame the team. I just want to know what went amiss, what went awry within that team after the third race, because after that, Hall really didn't fight for another win.
No, and he was always up front. He was always in the top 5. He was never out of a race. But you're right. It never seemed like he was just dominating races.
Yeah, after Cordeal. Like at the beginning of the season, you and me thought it was going to come down to Mini Tyrell and Hall. We weren't even thinking about Landen Lewis.
And Landen Lewis handled business.
Yeah. And he was humble about it. I think a lot of people can take Landen Lewis for a very stuck-up younger guy. But I think he actually has a little bit more behind him than a lot of people know about. I think, I can find myself wanting to say, oh, you know what, I think, he runs with Kevin Harvick, he's got great equipment behind him. And it's very easy to say that for some people. But again,
there's a reason he has that equipment. There's a reason he's running for Kevin Harvick.
Exactly. He proved himself last year, doing some intermittent starts for them. I think he's had a hard upbringing within the racing scene. It hasn't been him just walking in the door, with these great opportunities. I don't know a lot about his background, but I've kind of heard that just in reading. So, Landen Lewis has earned this opportunity this year with Kevin Harvick Incorporated. And even though there were some big mistakes this year, he was able to still capitalize. And I think after the race at Hickory, we definitely saw a different Landen Lewis. And, he had the scuffle with Mini Tyrell at Anderson, but I think that was more of a racing deal. But I think we saw a more improved and a little bit more mature Landen Lewis after the Hickory race.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously he's the champion, so it's easy to say, well, yeah, he had the best performance all year. But, I mean,
it's deeper than that, yeah.
It's deeper than that, and he did have the best performance all year. And I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the standings. They weren't updated from last week to this week. But
okay.
I kind of want to break down everybody in the top 5 and maybe talk about two or three other drivers and just kind of, say the driver and give them like a grade, F- to A+, and say a few things about their season and what we thought. And, I mean, I can't think of anything other than an A+ for Landen Lewis.
Really?
I mean, and I feel like an A+, I mean, this was an A+ season for Landen. I mean, he won the championship. He came in not full-time last year with KHI. This is his first time on a new team and racing against Connor Hall, who was last year's NASCAR Weekly champion, who was with JRM and beat him head-to-head 16 times or 15 times.
Yeah. I honestly...
What grade would you... I mean...
I'd give it a low A. I'd give it like a 91.
Okay.
Because
and I kind of want to hear why.
Because of those mistakes we talked about.
Okay.
Him and Tristan McKee getting together at Hickory. Not being patient in some of those moments. Same thing with Anderson. I think he was faster than Mini Tyrell that day at Anderson, but later in the race he got impatient and made a big mistake when again he could have won the race. And I think there were other moments, smaller moments I've seen throughout the season. He has the talent and he's learned more about the patience. I'm not questioning that. I just think no one's ever going to have 100 on a perfect season. It's just not going to happen.
But I think I'm giving him the A+ because of the way he responded to a few controversial moments and a few, boneheaded moves.
I would give an A+ to that and the reactions and the response.
Yeah,
but if we're looking at the season as a whole,
okay,
yeah, okay. If we're grading him from race 1 to race 15, all throughout and everything that happened, a 91.
Okay.
And
I'm okay with that.
No one's getting a higher, percentage than that for me because he was a champion.
That's fair. That's fair. And okay, well, what about Connor Hall, the number 2 driver, the driver who took Landen down to the wire? I guess I'll give him an A-.
Yeah, I would say, probably, an 86. I'm going to the numbers because it's a lot easier for me.
That's fair. That's
just
fine.
Because started off on a hot streak with the wins, but again, we talked about just something wasn't clicking after this race at Cordeal. They just could not find their way to the lead again. They had a great season, plenty of top 5s. Before this race at North Wilkesboro, and I'll include the race at
Yeah.
North Wilkesboro. It's 10 top 10s, 8 top 5s, and those 2 wins, of course. So that's 66% of his races were in the top 10, and let's see, over 50% were top 5s. So that's a good run, but again, it wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough to have the championship. And I got to think as well, Gavin, maybe whatever wasn't clicking is the reason that Connor Hall is not running with them next year, because we've forgotten that. He's not coming back to this 88 in the CARS Tour.
We have forgot. I feel like we haven't actually talked about this.
I don't know if we have. We maybe mentioned it, but yeah, I don't remember where I saw it, but I know I saw it, is that he's not running with them next year. And I don't know if that was a mutual decision between them.
Okay.
I've got to imagine it was, because I believe Dale Jr. loves Connor Hall.
I don't know why I was under the impression that he was running that car again next year, and maybe they were trying to work him into the Xfinity Series on a limited capacity.
Maybe
I was just under that impression, but I might be completely BSing.
I could be wrong as well, and I don't know where. Maybe I need to find the information. We need to update our Twitter if I am incorrect. But I'm fairly positive he's not. I saw a statement somewhere that he's not going to be back in this car next year.
Either this or we're both crazy, and he's running full time in the CARS Tour with them next year, but not making Xfinity starts, and we're both crazy.
I don't think he's making Xfinity starts. Because if he I think they would have worked him into that one car that Quapple's not able to run full time.
Okay. Yeah, true.
So
okay, well, let's go to third place. Cade Brown. I'm just gonna give him a straight up, flat out medium B.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Cade. I'm dropping fairly low here, and I'm gonna have these numbers can go above each other. But for his individual performance, I'm gonna have to go with probably an 81 or so, 82.
Okay, and I'm going with, when I say mine, I'm going off not each driver is going to get a worse score. I'm going off what I expected of them at the start of the season compared to what they are now. I'm taking their equipment into account. I'm taking their reputation into account. I'm just taking everything.
Some of mine are going to jump between each other, but no one's going to jump above Lewis.
Okay, that's fair. But I think Cade Brown is in a solid car. He's a good driver who had good expectations, and he performed to par of what people expected.
Yeah, I think so. 12 top 10s.
12 top 10s. He didn't get a win this year. He was always in the top 10. He only had a couple top 5s.
Only 2. That's where the number drops for me.
Yeah, but it seems like he was never in trouble. And I don't think I was expecting. I definitely didn't say at the start of the year, Cade Brown's going to win 4 or 5 races this year.
No.
I was like, Cade Brown's going to do good. And I think he performed to his expectations for me.
I don't know what the inner workings of that team look like, but we've seen Cade Brown do better than this. 2023, won the South Carolina 400, and he's had to bounce around with other teams. In the past 3 years, he's run with 3 different teams. And so I don't know the background of this team that he ran with this year, but I think Cade Brown has a little bit more skill than this year showed. I think he did great with what he had, but I think from what I saw just purely from the South Carolina 400 in 2023 that he won, I think there's more talent behind that wheel.
Yeah.
So, go on to Landen Huffman.
Let's go on to Landen Huffman. I'm going to stay at an even B, but it's going to be for the exact opposite reasons because he had, in my opinion, a very up and down year where he had moments where he had looked awesome and he had moments where he made some very boneheaded moves. Like he made a move at Tri-County racing for the win that I just shook my head at.
Yeah, I'm going to have to
But he was also in position to race for a win. I'm
going to have to give him an 85. And if I would have given him a number of a rating on 2024, it'd have been a 62. The improvement in the Carroll Speed Shop car that they figured out from last year to this year, extremely impressive. I agree with you about some of those bonehead moves because I think if those bonehead moves don't happen and he maybe gets the win at Tri-County or maybe even earlier in the year gets the win at Anderson and maybe picks up another couple top fives, I think
he could
absolutely
have
could have been. I think he could have been in the championship conversation without those mistakes. And so I think he kind of took himself out of it for a little bit because I think we saw the most speed out of that 57 that we have seen. We've seen the most speed out of Landen Huffman since his win in 2023 and maybe in his entire CARS Tour career.
I'm not going to argue that. I mean, it was for him not to have a win this year, it felt like even more of a roller coaster than it was. And speaking of roller coasters, rounding out the top 5, Minnie Tyrell had 3 wins and finished behind 2 drivers with 0 wins.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I'm also going to give him. I think I'm going to give him a B- because I think he had A+ performances, but there were duds sprinkled in throughout, mixed with some bad luck too.
I was going to say I'm going to give him more in the lines of I'm going to give him an 87. I'm going to go up for Minnie because I think he encountered a lot of bad luck that really wasn't a lot of his own fault. I really, really can't think back to many moments this year where I looked at Minnie Tyrell and said, "Yeah, that was a an error or a driver mistake." I really can't think to many of them.
He was in the wrong place. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time several times.
Exactly. So I think he did great to get a top 5 in the standings. I think even though I think he got second last year, correct, or 2 years ago.
Sounds right. I mean, he's finished in the top 3 at some point.
I was going to say the top 3 last year, 2 years ago. I think finishing 5th this year, still his best season to date.
Okay.
I think Minnie Tyrell has the prowess to be a CARS Tour champion, and especially when you think about it being a family-owned team and a very small team. Because if you put Minnie Tyrell in I think any of those top 4, I think if you put him in Lewis's car, Hall's car, or Huffman's car, and take a little bit of the unlucky factor out a little bit, you give him the championship.
He'd be the champion. Yeah, I mean, he won 3 races for a
reason.
I
think without this year,
in his own car,
without some of those unlucky breaks, because he had like 4 DNFs. I think if you take out some of that bad luck he had this year, he as like Landen Huffman could have also very easily been in this championship conversation.
Yeah, so. I mean, I agree with you. You want to talk about 2 or 3 more drivers and then move on? I kind of want to talk about Connor Jones real quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I want to talk about Carson Lofton. I think those are 2 good to talk about. Okay. So let's go to Jones.
I think we do Jones, Lofton, and I kind of want to talk about both the Pulliam cars because that is, in my opinion, probably the best built race cars and the most, outside of JRM, probably the most famous team in late model stock racing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Connor Jones, who by the end of the year was not even the same driver as he was at the start of the year, I think.
No.
Like, we have seen a true evolution of Connor Jones.
I've said it and I love it.
And I really am. I don't know if I want to say I'm a Connor Jones fan yet, but the kid's really starting to grow on me.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself a fan, but I can fully respect and get behind a driver that can make the mental and physical change to say what I have been doing, A, isn't working, but B, just isn't what this sport needs. No, I think there was some mental reflection over the offseason of Connor Jones saying, I have a reputation and I don't like it, and I want to change that. And I hope that other people, other racers have seen that this year and can give him more respect, because we saw a change in a driver that I think a lot of people probably would have said, oh, well, he'll never change. He'll always race that way, and so I, have to give a huge round of applause to Connor Jones. And I think he also was another driver that got a lot of bad luck this year. I think there should have been plenty of results that he should have had that were taken away from him because of bad luck and other things. I mean, think about it. In the Throwback Classic, he started 40th and finished third. 40th and finished third.
That may have been the most impressive drive of a non-winner all season.
Yeah.
I think it was.
There are plenty others I know that aren't in my mind. I'd say he probably had like 8 chances to win this year or get good results from bad situations, and those were taken away from him. And so I said it all year long. I hope those unlucky moments don't make Connor Jones flip back to what he used to do, because I think when those things didn't happen, he was a better race car driver.
Yeah, and
so I'd give him, from 2024, I honestly probably would give him a 90.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think I'm going to give him a B+, maybe even an A-, because of what our expectations of Connor Jones was coming into the year. Because me and you have both talked about this. He's one of those drivers that when you see his name, like a year ago, if we would have saw his name on an entry list, we would have rolled our eyes.
Yeah, you could get a little nervous.
And now you're looking at him like, I hope he has a good run. And
like I hope he's at the Snowball Derby and we get to talk to him and say, hope you do well.
Yeah, and I want to give him a really funny shout out from the Martinsville race that I saw. It was his one of his rain delay interviews, and he mentioned he was on his 25th hot dog of the weekend at the Martinsville hot dog stand.
I remember you saying that.
And I was like, oh, that's relatable.
Oh my gosh!
So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm excited to eat some Martinsville hot dogs this weekend.
Dude, I'm so jealous. We'll get to that. But yeah, Connor Jones, how about good season. Carson Lofton?
I think I'm going to give him a B, solid B. I think he did really well.
I'd give him a good solid B as well. I don't think I'd put him above Mini Tyrell. I think I'd give him an 84, kind of in between Jones.
Well, I don't know if I think expectations to performance, him and Mini Tyrell are in the same category.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think, we knew coming into this year, Lofton had 5 Smart Mod wins. But I think we also knew Lofton had a bit of a reputation. And so he honestly didn't really live up to it all, which was great. It was a bad reputation. But he admitted throughout the year, like, I'm learning these cars. Like, I've never, raced these kind of cars before. It's always been modified. And it tells us how different a modified truly races compared to a full-bodied stock car. Because, at the end of the day, they're both stock cars. But one is bodied, one is not. One is more open-wheeled stock car kind of. And so, but they're both, they run ovals, and what I'm trying to say. But I think
really don't.
I think the improvement that we saw from Lofton really impressed me. I think especially the big turnaround for me was the summer. I think before the summer, I can't remember the numbers, but he was kind of struggling to get in the top 10. And then we saw plenty of races after the summer where he got good top 5s and plenty, easily in the top 10. And I kind of based him.
He had more top 10s than Mini Tyrell this year.
Yes, and I kind of gauged him with Trevor Ward, because there's a reason that Nelson brought Trevor Ward in. They wanted to get him in the car, but they wanted to gauge Lofton and see where he was with the performance of the team. And there were plenty of races where Ward and Lofton were fairly similar to each other. And so I really got to give credit to Carson Lofton. I don't know what the deal is for 2026. I've heard rumors that he may already be out. I've heard rumors that he's still going to be in, because I heard that they maybe made a decision in the summer after seeing the poor performance in the early part of the year to go a different direction. I hope they didn't, because I think a second year for this driver could do really, really well for him, and I think he could do a great job, because he finished 7th in the points in his rookie year. So I hope that he's back in that car, because I think there's more to prove for Carson Lofton in the CARS Tour late model stocks.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's back. About the 2 Pulliam cars, and then we'll get the 2 of them, round off with one of our former guests on the B main, and then one driver who I just want to mention had an insane performance for the races he showed up to. But first out of these drivers, Doug Barnes Jr. This is his first full-time year on the Cars Tour. He's been racing late model stocks for around a decade, actually, but it's funny to see someone with that much experience and somewhat high expectations with a rookie stripe on the back of their car.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
he got
I
some unlucky
was
breaks.
he had some unlucky breaks. He had a few really good runs. Um, the highlight of his season may have been the low light of his season where he ended up in a watermelon field
Oh, I forgot
at
about that.
Cordele, back at Cordele.
See, I think it was South Boston.
The which one at South Boston? Which moment?
The amazing run in the Cars Tour, where he was fighting
Oh
for
yeah,
almost fighting for the win, and then got caught up in the big wreck.
yeah. So I think I'm gonna give him a B
Yeah.
because maybe a B minus because I had pretty high expectations for Barnes,
Yeah.
especially with it being the one of the two podium cars and the way Brenden Queen dominated last season.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him a B minus just because of inconsistencies.
Yeah. I might give him a really, really high C, like a 79, just because of that car. Like Lee Pulliam cars are great cars. And I gotta throw some. There were some unlucky moments for sure, but it just seemed for him moving around so much, there were some inconsistencies. So I don't know. I think we could see him back and for another season, and I hope he improves. But I think just thinking about the Lee Pulliam car and saying last year it won a championship to this year it's finishing 9th overall in the standings, I've got to say. It shows how great Brenden Queen is, but it shows maybe some more work that needs to be done for Doug Barnes Jr.
And speaking of Brenden Queen's car, I think we move on to the 03 car of Lanny Bice. And her and Doug had very similar seasons where they both had moments of showing a lot of speed. Both had moments of bad luck or being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Lanny had one less top 5, one less top 10 than Doug. She had one or two moments that were similar accidents that one probably was more so on her, and then the second one was probably 50-50. But to be in the same style of wreck 2 times in, I think, 2 races, that's not a great look. But also, I think she had less expectations than Doug Barnes at the start of the year because she's 10 years younger and has 10 years less experience.
Yeah. Well,
so to see them have similar seasons, but hers is a little bit lower than his, but with expectations, I'm going to give them the same grade of a low B minus, high C plus.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing too.
I think
she had a little bit more driver errors, so I actually might say put her a little bit lower. I think she had
but I think her expectations are to have more driver errors. I mean, he
has
a decade more experience than her.
You make a great point.
And so I say, if Doug Barnes had Lanny Bice's season, it would have been a C minus. If Lanny Bice had Doug Barnes' season, it would have been a big B plus.
That's fair. I like that. I'm gonna have to agree with that. And so I just think we didn't see much of her after the summer break. I mean, really, like she did not. I mean, she was just not there.
And I kind of wonder how much of that, because of that early stretch of the summer where it was wreck, equipment issue, how much stress that put on the team back at the shop.
Yeah.
And how much
did that affect Doug Barnes as well?
Yeah, because it seems like there was a stretch right at the start of the summer where both cars, I mean, you go from Cordele to the first North Wilkesboro race.
That was a great run for them.
Well, bad. I mean, those 2 cars were the 2 cars that they rolled off the trailer fast and ended up in trouble.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And to see the way that they had, the end of the summer was not good at all for either of them. But to see them at the very end of the season gain a little bit of that speed back is promising for the team. And I think also promising for both of them.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I think you make some great points.
And I think both drivers had different expectations and a little bit different results, but I would give them the same grade for the reasons of different expectations. And I think both of them have different things they need to work on. I think Doug needs to be a little bit faster overall. and I think Landen needs to be more consistent overall and more confident in the positions she's putting herself in.
There you go. I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah. And let's move on to one of our last two. I want to talk about Chase Burrow. He didn't run every race. He ran 13 of the 15 races, got his first win this year. And that's a pretty small team, too.
It is. It's a family team. I've gotten to talk to him a lot because he was at South Boston a couple times when I was there. So me and him really got to chat. He was really happy about this season. He obviously, said that things could have gone a little bit better, but obviously, picked up his first career win.
Had two top
fives, 5 top tens. I think for a smaller team, for a driver that's continuing to develop and improve, he's only 20. He's just a little younger than us. I forget that when I'm talking to him because he looks.
I didn't realize
24.
he was younger than. I thought he was old. I thought he was older than me.
He's 20. He looks 24 or 25.
I thought he was my age or older.
No, and so he's still learning. Like he's a great driver. He's him and his dad are helping out some other teams. They're helping out one team from Sobo because they build chassis. You got to talk to us about doing that. They build chassis. They build cars. So I think with running a business and doing the Cars Tour, I'd give Chase Burrow. I'd probably give them an 86.
I think I'm going to give them a minus just on the fact that they are a family-owned team, and he got his first win. The first win is a big enough accomplishment for me to knock you up, not an entire grade, but half a grade letter.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah,
5 points on a grading scale by getting your first win at his home track too in an awesome performance.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a low A minus on this year, and then the last driver I want to talk about just because. He won almost half the races he was in this year. I want to talk about Jared Fryer's.
I was so hoping. I was literally hovering above his name.
I mean,
what a season!
I think I might give him an A plus. I might give him the same grade I gave Landen Lewis.
I was going to say
champion. I think I'm going to give him an A plus.
I think for not running all the races, I'm going to give him a higher grade because he wasn't in a title fight. I'm going to give A plus. Yeah.
I think. Obviously, he didn't win the championship and didn't run every race, so I can't say he had the best season, but he had the most impressive.
He did. And Jared Fryer, he's a veteran.
Every race he showed up to, I was like, Jared Fryer probably going to win. It seemed like he won those first two he showed up at, and then after that, me and you were like, this dude's awesome.
Well, before this, he had never won more than once in a season, and he was running full time.
And he ran half the season and won a quarter of the races.
It kind of showed you that maybe in the past they were kind of stretching themselves too thin. And when they focused on certain races, they were able to really, really go and perform. Top 10 in every race but one that he competed in. Same with top 5. Top 5 in every race that he competed in. Won 3 races. He also finished third, or was it second? Second or third on the podium at the Valley Star Credit Union 300. So in every big race, Cars Tour or
NASCAR Weekly,
NASCAR Weekly, in NASCAR Regional.
Because the Triple Crown is part of it's NASCAR Regional, right?
Yeah, NASCAR Regional. Podium or better.
I mean, that's perfect. I mean, he had a perfect season.
To run 9 races in the year between Cars Tour and NASCAR Regional, 3 of them be wins and the rest be podiums, I'd take that every year.
Yeah.
If you told me, hey, you're racing 9 times this year, and they're excellent like this is what you're going to, I'd say, put me in them. I'd say, let's go.
Yeah. So I like all these grades we've given, and one thing I'm about to point out to you, we haven't even talked about who won the late model stock race, getting their first career Cars Tour win.
Let's do that and round out the Cars Tour.
Caden Quapple, last lap, bump and run, but a clean bump and run.
Yes.
It wasn't a dirty bump and run. I watched it, I was like, oh, that's a lot. And then, they show the replay and you watch the battle leading up to it, you're like, all right, that's a fair move.
Quapple was faster.
Yeah, Quapple was faster. And Landon S. Huffman to finish out the year with 2 great runs.
Yeah, and man, so close to that win. I mean, so close.
I hope he gets one soon.
I mean,
because
we have not talked pretty much anything about Landen Huffman, and I don't really know much about him. One of my good friends, Kevin Sheevy,
yeah,
he's done some work with PRG,
mm-hmm.
and so I would love to get some more insight into him. But these last 2 races, if you ever wanted to say, hey, I've got stuff to offer, he chose the best time. Because if anyone that is talking about seats next year, I think you've got to say that Landen Huffman had said, put a statement out there with those 2 performances and said, I deserve to be here.
Yeah. And I would say he is definitely the driver with the most improved, I guess, I don't know if I'm going to call him a free agent or not, but most stock going into 2026.
Yeah.
Improved stock. Not like, oh, he's the most valuable driver on the CARS Tour.
No, but his gain of improvement.
Improvement to what he was 6 months ago? Yeah.
Where throughout the summer there were some races he didn't even run.
Yeah, and we were like, where's Landen Huffman? Oh,
exactly.
I guess he's not running this week because we didn't think he was having a very good
year. He only ran 9 races.
Yeah, and think about this.
I'm looking
at him right now. He ran 9 races with 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s.
And they came in the last 2 races. Yep.
Yeah.
So statement.
Yeah, statement made because, I know he's young and I know he has family experience around stock car racing, so I don't think he's ever going to be struggling to find a ride that if he absolutely wanted to have a ride, he can have one.
Exactly.
But, I mean, as far as being a credible driver, his back was against the wall. He was on the ropes.
He was. I have to agree.
And he made a statement to say, no, I'm here, I'm legit.
Yep, I'd agree.
And so I think that's going to round it out for the CARS Tour.
Yep.
Modified Tour Championships this weekend. Austin Beers keeps expanding that point lead. I mean, just don't mess up.
Would love to see a statement victory at Martinsville to cap off the championship.
I mean, a statement victory would be perfect, but I mean, just don't wreck.
Do you know the point? Is it 1 point per position in NASCAR mods?
I believe it is 1 point per position.
Well, he just has to finish, unless there's bonus points for a win, he just has to finish 14.
There are a few bonus points.
Okay, then he probably has to finish top 10. If Bonsignor wins the race.
And leads every lap.
Maybe even maybe even sits on pole if there's a bonus point for that.
Yeah.
Say Beers probably has to finish 8th or better.
Yeah, so if Beers does what he has done all year, and that is run around the 5th position.
Yep.
And not make a mistake, he should be able to win. What a statement for him would that be?
It would be a huge statement.
I want to see him.
At
least get a one-off. I mean, and I hope this turns into a one-off ride at some level of a NASCAR National Series.
I hope so too.
Even if it's ARCA.
I mean, I want
to see him get 2 or 3 short track starts somewhere, even if it's a middle of the pack truck ride at New Hampshire, because that's technically his home track. The home short track. I mean, Pocono's his home track, but his home short track is either New Hampshire or Richmond. Probably not much difference from where he's at in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see him get a National Series ride at one of those 2 races. At least, just to show everybody what he's got.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot.
Yeah, let's see. I want to look at... Yeah, well, and I hope at least is something like that too. You know, it could be a Ryan Preece situation, but maybe at a younger level for Austin Beers, because this is the way we saw Preece get into NASCAR, but it was obviously he was a little bit older than Austin Beers is now.
I mean, you got to think Ryan Preece has been around NASCAR a long time as a part-timer, so he probably wasn't that much older than Beers.
Yeah.
Because Beers is, I think, 21.
Yes, he is.
So... I mean, I'm not sure how old Ryan Preece was when he started making a few of those starts for Joe Gibbs, but I think he was between 23 and 27 probably.
Yeah. Let's see. I can't find
a
stats I wish I could see the stats on wins, top 5s, top 10s, all that stuff.
I
But
think he
can't
has
find
3 wins, but I'm not sure. I think
It's 2.
3. 2? Yeah, I mean, he's just don't mess up this week. Like
Yeah.
I've said a handful of times now. He has, honestly, this is going to be weird to say it because he's leading the championship. He doesn't have anything to gain this week,
That's
but
true.
he has everything to lose.
Yep.
And he has to race like he has everything to lose. He has to play defense from the drop of the green flag.
Yep. Yeah, it's Bonsignor is the driver that has to come from behind. And as the driver that is in the lead, that means he has to take risk. That means you need to not take risk.
And see, this is what I miss about a championship battle, even though I'm not going to say it's settled, but there's a clear goal. It's not, hey, you have to go win and finish 1 spot ahead of this guy. It's, you have done everything all season to build this lead, and you have one of the 2 best drivers in this era of your division chasing you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think knowing that Bonsignor is the guy chasing you might put more pressure on you than a playoff situation.
Absolutely.
Even though you can say, okay, well, if I finish 8th, let's just say 8th is an arbitrary number, but if I finish 8th, he can't pass me. But but you know that Bonsignor is going to have the performance of his life this week.
Oh, yeah. I figure Bonsignor will qualify within the top 5, and he'll probably finish in the top 5.
I think he'll finish in the top 3.
Hey, there you go.
And I think he's going to lead several laps. And I think Austin's got to know. He's got to put it in his head
8th or better.
that he is, and he has to know that he has done this all season long, and he has been great all season long. Him having this points lead isn't a fluke. And yeah, he might not be as experienced as Bonsignor, but this is his 3rd full-time year. He has been in a competitive car now for 3 years. He has won races. He needs to be confident. And I think he's got the confidence.
Yeah, I think, honestly, we're even overcomplicated it for him. He just needs to go out there and run this like any other race.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what he's done all season long. And he's finished top 10 in every race. And if Bonsignor doesn't win, he has to finish in the top 10. If Bonsignor wins, and again, this is just us kind of guesstimating, he probably has to finish 8th or better. Yeah. And he's had one of the only few top finishes out of his worst finish of the year is 9th.
His average finish is 4.7. He has the same average start as the average finish.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And he's led 335 laps. I mean, he's doing great.
He's 4th most, yeah.
Third most. He's led more laps than Bonsignor.
Yes, but Hirschman, Emmerling, and Ron Silk have led more.
Oh, Hirschman. What's wrong?
Hirschman's run 4.
Yeah, Ron Silk's way down here because he's only around 11 races. Gotcha.
So Ron Silk still got it.
Driver we talked about earlier, Luke Baldwin has 11 starts.
He does.
And has led 95 laps.
I didn't realize he had 11 starts.
Yeah, he's averaging a 10.2 average finish. So Luke Baldwin,
seven
you might
top
be right.
10s.
He might be moving up north for the for next season.
Just saying.
But I mean, I don't have anything more to talk about on the short track of asphalt side.
Nope.
Dirt, Lucas Oil Championship talk. We've had a lot of playoff talks in the NASCAR side.
Yeah. I don't love the playoff.
The playoff is controversial in NASCAR. I think it might be even more controversial in late model.
It's worse in late model dirt series.
Because
it's worse.
Okay, if you're going to narrow it down to 4, and it be elimination style, why is it...
But it's not elimination style.
It's not. I mean, it's not elimination style, but it's only 4, like a chase. It just seems... And there's no excitement building up to it to the rest of the year.
No.
Because the 4 drivers, everyone knew at the start of the season that it was going to be... They've done it 3 years now, and it's been the same 4 drivers 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and as well, by the end of the year, with how many races Lucas Oil Dirt Series runs, there's only going to be 5 drivers that have a chance in the last 6 races on points alone. So it almost seems like it's there for nothing. And then I don't think there's a full points reset, but they're I know there's some sort of reset because Moran was fairly far out.
Yeah, and I know that or not many points looks like a lot of points because 5 points is a position in the Lucas format as opposed to 1 point in NASCAR.
Right.
So 50 points is 10 points.
Yeah.
5 points is 1 point. So it looks like a lot. But I don't know. It just seems like it's for nothing because when you start the season, there's no excitement for the playoff at the end of the year.
They don't even talk about it on the broadcast.
They don't even talk about it on the broadcast.
Like, we weren't even sure if it was still happening.
But, okay, there's no excitement for it, no build-up for it. Everyone knew that it was going to be Moran, RTJ, JD, and O'Neal at the start of the year. And there may have been an argument, well, I don't know if it's going to be O'Neal this year with this team. They hadn't showed a lot of speed last year.
But
maybe
it'll be
Brenden
one spot.
Shepard. But that's one spot. Everybody knew
and it
that
probably would have been
RTJ,
Shepard.
Gavin, yeah, and like everybody knew that it was going to be Moran, JD, and RTJ. And RTJ and JD took themselves out in the last race.
Yeah.
It just, which Moran had the lead, so there was no issues with that. And they talked about in the press conference, his championship press conference, he won, or he didn't win. He was a podium in every playoff race they had.
Except the last one, yeah.
Except the last one. But it just feels so weird. Because in NASCAR, if you have a champion, let's just talk about last year. Let's talk about 2 of Joey's 3 championships or Chase Elliott's championship. We're like, oh, well, they didn't deserve it. Well, they had clutch wins at a cutoff race to make it.
Yeah.
That was impactful for performance. But it just didn't, I don't know. It feels weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel bad. It just feels weird.
And again, us saying this, taking nothing away from Devin Moran. With how it works.
I agree, Devin. Yeah.
Moran, excellent job.
Deserving champion.
Had a great start throughout the first part of the season. Fell off a little bit through the mid part of the season, but was still consistent enough to stay in the conversation. Gets to the final 4, runs the final 5 races, podium in all of them except the last one. And the last one, as a champion. Like this is us taking nothing away from Devin Moran because he did a great job.
Yeah.
But it seems for the way with how the broadcast is, with how the series races, with there being 10 drivers out of 70 that race probably throughout a season, 5 of those are going to be in contention when we get to Knoxville. When we get to the point, well, I'm saying when we get to Knoxville to make that point, like when when we get to Knoxville. By that point, there's only 5 drivers, pretty much probably every year, that still have a chance in the last 5 races to win the championship. So it just seems that the playoff of the final 4 is useless because, as well, there's no cutoff. Like that is the final 4 is the cutoff. There's no elimination. You're just not in the final 4.
It just seems like.
Like Brenden Shepard is 910 points out.
And so let's say divide that by 5, so he's 40 points? No.
I don't know. What is
Whatever.
910 divided by 5?
Yeah.
910
in NASCAR points.
Divided by 5, 182.
Yeah, so 182 in NASCAR points, which is
182 positions.
Yeah, so
you will not do that in 10 races if you started from the back and finished, whatever.
Yeah, so it was just if they're gonna do a playoff for dirt racing, you would have.
I don't even. I don't even think they should do that.
You have to.
I just don't think that's a conversation. I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's if you did a playoff. No.
Yeah, just don't.
There is no good way in dirt late model racing to do it. just don't have
There's
it.
really no good way in any kind of short track racing
Exactly.
on the
That's what I'm
national
saying.
level.
I get it for NASCAR. There's pros and cons for TV viewership, for bringing in fans, but that's the highest level of stock car racing. And we'll bring dirt into the oval style racing
with 40 full-time teams in one series and not 19 full-time teams across two series.
and 80 cars that run throughout the year.
Yeah, because you have your guys that run in the Northeast, your guys that run Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, your guys that run in the South, and your guys that run Georgia, Florida.
And then your guys that run everywhere. So
yeah,
I understand it for NASCAR, and that's a whole separate conversation.
It doesn't even make sense.
But the viewership,
it
doesn't. It's not bringing in any more fans.
It's not losing. You're not gaining or losing fans. It's literally a non-factor.
It is that's the best way. It's a non-factor, and it should go away.
It's like one of those things. You don't need a reason not to do it because there's no reason to do it.
Exactly, and people could give the counter argument. Well, if it's a non-factor, then why not just leave it? And I mean.
Well, why do something for no reason? Why would you do anything for no reason?
Exactly. That's my point. It's like, well, if it's not adding or taking away from anything, don't have it.
That's like telling a kid it's okay to eat boogers because they want to. It's still gross.
It's not hurting them. But it's no.
That was the weirdest analogy I could have come up with.
No, that's a great one.
Having a playoff in dirt racing is like being a 6-year-old that eats boogers. Okay. Yeah. Well, what's the big deal? It's gross. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, no. We could go around in circles on this, but
but congratulations,
Devin Moran.
Super cool moment, by the way. One of the two Miss Eldoras is actually Devin Moran's sister.
Oh, really?
So that was a cool family moment with them. The blonde, yeah, the one who was hugging after. So that's a really cool moment. That the two Miss Eldoras was the race winners' fiance and the champion's sister. So this is a cool family moment.
I really wish Bobby Pierce would run Lucas Oil.
I do too, and
because I can't afford Dirt Vision, and so I only get to watch Flow, and it's just why I watch Lucas Oil. And
there's a handful of really good drivers that are competing with Bobby Pierce, but
that's why I hate in both sprint car racing and late model racing that there's two top series. I so wish that they could all just be one.
Yes, I mean, you're right. I would love it. And I want to see not only the merged weekends in sprint cars that they do a few times, like at Eldora, in some of the big events that they do in dirt late model where
they do
everybody
them a lot
goes
in
up.
late models, and I love it.
But I want to have a double crown jewel weekend where you have 60 or 70 late models, 60 or 70 sprint cars, and 30 national level drivers on both sides showing up, and just the best of the best.
Yeah. Are you saying they race at the same time, or just
not
all
the
there
time,
but different
weekend.
races?
Yeah, well, I guess they were about to do that in Charlotte for the World Outlaws World Finals. So my wish is about to be granted here in about 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, there's going to be a few guys that don't go to that on both sides. But no, it's great. Speaking of dirt, speaking of championships, before we get to talk about the high limit champion in their championship races, Brad Sweet announces his full-time retirement. Still going to race some part-time. This was a shocker to me.
Seriously.
Because he's obviously not the youngest driver in the field. I mean, I think he's around 40. But it was just such a out of left field retirement for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
I think it says a lot about him as a person that he didn't do at the start of the year, this is my last year, and do a big farewell tour.
Oh, yeah.
Because it shows him
that.
I kind of like it. It shows a humble side of him to me, and because he's not really that flashy of a guy. He's a great driver, kind of a flashy driver because he's awesome, but he's very business-minded with high limit. He's super involved behind the scenes, I know for a fact, and just it gives you a little more respect from him that he wanted the whole series and Rico's championship to be the story and not his retirement.
I think that business side is
Mm-hmm.
probably a big point of this. I think
Mm-hmm.
people question the incident after Eldora early this year and him getting a little bogged down by that. Part of it could be health, but I think a big part of him stepping away from full-time racing is
His
his
business.
interest in the business. Like I think
Because I think if it was health,
he,
I think he would take a full step back away completely.
I think it's a pure he is invested and enjoys seeing the improvement of high limit.
I love
He
being a
wants
promoter.
He wants to invest time into what's a new series he just bought? He bought a new series. It's a northern sprint car series.
Huh.
I can't remember what it's called, but he also owns
I
that
gotcha.
now. And then he also, of course, owns Silver
It's not
Dollar.
the All-Star. It's not the All-Star Tour, is it?
No, it's some like
Huh.
R's. It's like not the Mars like late model tour. It's some.
Yeah,
I think
gotcha.
it's R's. It's like Lars or something. But he owns it now, and so he's a co-owner of High Limit. He's an owner of this other new sprint car series. It's not a new sprint car series, new to him.
Yeah.
And then his own
Yeah.
racetrack. And I think he just wants to see all those improved. And he
Mm-hmm.
knows that so much of his time is focused on driving rather than those business aspects and him being a part of that. And so I think this is him just interested in the improvement and the well-being of sprint car racing in general and wanting to give his all to that.
Yeah, and he has nothing to prove as a driver
No,
anymore.
six
And
national championships, over
Yeah.
100 national sprint car wins. I mean, he is a legend.
yeah, and this is something that like I've heard from a lot of very successful people. You're not going to become a better person doing the same thing. You got to try new things, learn new things, and expand what you do to continue growing as a person. And when you're an adult that's already led a super successful career in one thing, I mean that's the only next natural progression is to go from the competition side to the business side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I just wish I got to watch more of him as a dirt fan because, like I said, this is really my third, maybe fourth full season watching more than a handful of races all year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things I'm like, man, I wish I would have got to watch 10 years of Brad Sweet instead of 3.
Yeah.
But I guess I remember him very briefly when he was getting into the Xfinity Series in NASCAR for a little bit, ventured into NASCAR for a little while.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be different. It's going to be weird. So.
But yeah, enough. Rico won his championship. That's his first national championship. I'm so excited about that.
And he
I
won
don't
the
think there's a
owners
person-
and drivers, right?
Yes, he won both, and he walked it off with 2 wins on a 2-night event there at Texas. And I don't think there's a person in not just sprint car racing, not just in all of racing, that has anything bad to say about Rico. I mean, he's just an awesome guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the first time I met Rico was in 2015. It was when he was running trucks. And I would have been just turned 14. So I looked quite a bit different than I do now. I mean, obviously, I'm a somewhat noticeable guy, so I get it. But I go from being 14 to 22 years old between the 2 times that I saw him, and he saw me and comes up to me and speaks to me by my name.
He remembered?
Yeah, like remembered my name and talked to me after
Are
not
you
seeing him for 8
serious?
years. Yeah, like that's the kind of guy Rico is.
Dang.
Like he is such an awesome guy. And that went from seeing him at a NASCAR race at Phoenix to a high limit show at Texas
Wow.
over an 8-year span.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, I mean, he's probably my favorite driver in all of dirt track racing just because of the kind of guy he is that's bigger than the sport. I think right now, at this moment, out of active drivers, he might be the only person in all of dirt track racing, sprint cars and late models, that is bigger than dirt track racing.
Yeah, you said that before, and I agree.
I mean, maybe Kenny Wallace. But it's the same type of personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Nothing to add.
yeah, I mean, this is just a awesome moment. And then over in the World Outlaw side of sprint car racing, it has been a controversial week. So David
Yeah.
Gravel had an equipment issue 2 races ago, or 3 races ago now, and Buddy cut in a 50-point chunk of his lead. Cut the lead from 150 to 100 points. And 2 races ago in Lincoln Park this weekend, Buddy started first, leads the first chunk of the race. Gravel leads the middle portion. The last 5 or 6 laps, they're going back and forth for the lead. So entering turn 4 on the last lap, Buddy is on the top, pretty even with David Gravel. David Gravel throws a slider from the not goes down to the bottom, all the way to the bottom, and then throws it up to the top, kind of diamonding the corner like a normal slide job. Goes maybe a lane down to the middle of the track and just drives straight in. Right rears make contact, Buddy gets spun around. Boos come down from maybe every single person in the stands at Lincoln Park that night. And, Gravel says, I didn't mean to wreck him, whatever. And they start booing him louder.
I mean, you could hear
and
it.
Gravel goes, I knew he was there, but I was going to make that slider work one way or the other. And I was like, okay.
So you planned on taking him out?
Not really planning on taking him out. I guess Gravel can argue that I planned on him lifting, but why would a driver that is 100 points back, which is about a race and a half back, left with 5 races left on the season after that night, why would he lift, racing you for the win?
Yeah.
And I think that it's a move I do not like at all.
I don't either.
And I mean, you have no reason to not have a lot of respect for David Gravel because of what he has been able to do since the World Outlaws and High Limit split off. I mean, he has been the number 1 driver, hands down, on the World Outlaws side. And after the year and a half where he was the undisputed top dog, he has somebody who is competing dead even with him since the middle of the summer. And he has done nothing but make enemies and fans not like him since Eldora.
Yeah.
I mean, since Eldora, he has become the biggest heel in short track racing.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. I mean, the best thing I've ever heard, the fans, they better be making noise, whether they're booing or they're cheering. The only the problem is if they're quiet. They're quiet. And so, Gravel can play into that. But if I'm a driver, I want to have the fans respect. And I want the cheers rather than the boos. But again, he's staying relevant. But I don't like that, the way that he has raced in the controversial moments like this, because he kind of throws that half slider. And here's the thing: a championship driver in that race would say, I can maybe settle for second, or this. Throw the slider. I don't want to ever
settle for second.
Okay.
Throw a legit slider, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Right. I'm saying, sorry, I'm okay with finishing second if he makes that move. Like if Kofoid makes the outside stick. If I throw this slider the right way and it doesn't stick, I'm okay with second because he chews into my lead by 5 points. And so I'm sticking. I mean, right, exactly. It's nothing to a 100-point deficit. So I just think, now it's instead of 100, instead of 97, it's 138. But the way you did it, you will not gain a lot of respect. And maybe Gravel doesn't care about that. Maybe if he wins a championship, it's a championship. He doesn't care how he got it. It could be completely different from a driver perspective. But from a fan perspective, I think that takes away from a possible championship and what it means.
I think you're looking at, this is something I've noticed across all of racing. there's 3 types of heels. There's the type of heel that is Denny Hamlin, where you agitate the fans, but you're doing it in a way that is fun to root against, right?
Mhm.
Denny Hamlin as a bad guy is fun to root against.
Right.
And then you have heels that are, let's just say, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Jonathan Davenport,
They're
Jimmy
just freaking
Johnson,
good.
or they're just, okay, you beat me, or, oh man, their crew chief's got their car cheated up because they're that much better. And when they're just that much better, there's nothing you can do but shake your fist at them.
Mhm.
And then there's the type of heel that is, right now, there's 2 drivers that fit the mold, and it's David Gravel and Austin Hill.
Yeah.
And it's, somebody tweeted, I'm quoting someone else on Twitter, so this is not 100% me saying it. This is the racing fan base community as a whole. You're not a bad guy. You're just a butthead. And I saw that. I was like, okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the type. I think David Gravel's trying to be a gritty, cool, you love to hate me bad guy, and he's becoming a you hate to hate me, you roll your eyes at me bad guy.
I have complete and full respect for Denny Hamlin. I don't like him.
Oh yeah,
I do not like him.
Same way.
What he has done in the sport, truly
It's
impressive.
amazing.
It's amazing. He has deserved everything that he has gotten within his wins, within his team, all of it. I mean, he has worked for it, and he has proved it. I have less respect for David Gravel because he has been very impressive in his tenure in his national dirt car sport and what he's done. But the way he has done some of it, and even, again, I'm more new to dirt racing. So this is the only thing I've seen of David Gravel.
You're number 1 for you.
I
These
don't
are your
know,
first impressions of David Gravel.
I don't know what the past has been like, but the way he has raced this year in a lot of quote-unquote clutch moments or what are what is it? I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
I get what you're saying. High stakes.
High stakes move. Thank you. High stakes races. I have not liked what I have seen. And I cannot respect moves like that and a driver that stands behind those moves. It would have been very different if David Gravel would have said, I'm like, if he was completely apologetic. Even if he didn't mean it, I'll never know. But if he seemed apologetic and that he actually really did not mean to do it and that wasn't his plan, I would have seen the incident a little differently. I still wouldn't have liked it, but I would have had respect for him taking responsibility. But the fact that he really didn't, and he said, hey, I was going to put my car there whether he was there or not.
And exactly, and I think with the context that Buddy took that huge chunk out of his points lead the race before.
Yeah.
And I think David
Gravel, know that he knows that.
And he knows that, and whether he's going to say it or not, he knew that and when he made that move. And part of me is thinking Gravel's goal wasn't to gain 3 points on Buddy there. David Gravel's goal was to gain 30 points on Buddy with that move.
Mm-hmm. And we'll never know. But
we'll never know.
The circumstances
Gravel's probably about
good.
to win his 2nd championship in a row.
Yeah.
So, but we're never going to know, and I think that's going to roll in to our fun segment that we love, and I think I'm going to go ahead and call that my bonehead move since we've just talked about it for so long.
Yeah. Well, and we didn't even talk about Tri-County from CARS Tour, which, I mean, we pretty much covered it. That my big thing, the only thing we did not cover that was the biggest controversial move was Landon Huffman into Chad McCumbee, and that is my bonehead move.
Leading up until the other night, that was going to be mine until David Gravel in his a move that not a lot of people a move that no one liked.
Huffman absolutely could have won that race, probably would have won that race, but took out Chad McCumbee, who only has one career win, and he's a veteran of the CARS Tour, and I haven't seen much of Chad McCumbee, but I feel bad for him this year because I think he's been in a lot of unlucky spots, and so I say on that note, I give Landen Huffman a ton of credit and respect for going on Twitter and taking full accountability. And even though it happened, I love the way that he handled it afterward. And I've got to respect him a lot for that. I think Chad McCumbee, while it didn't make him feel any better, probably also, respected what he said. But again, that's a bonehead move.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Badass of the week. We've already talked about championships again. I'm going to give it to Rico.
Yeah.
Winning. He didn't have to win these two. He had a small points lead for the owner's points and a decent points lead for the driver's points. But he didn't play into that at all and say, okay, I'm just going to run good enough. He said, they can't catch me if I win. And they really can't do it if I do it twice.
Yeah.
And to get 2 walk-off wins for the championship just made it that much sweeter for him.
It did. A walk-off championship, no, for a fan and a broadcaster, that's what you want.
Great.
I love the thought of the champion coming to the line first. Because I get to call it in one go. I get to see him take the white flag, build up this moment, and not split it between a race winner. And that's the perspective I think about of the race winner and the champion get a full moment rather than halving both of their moments. And it makes it a lot easier when they also win the race.
Yeah, so who is your badass for this week?
Mine's going to be Chase Briscoe. No. It was Chase Briscoe in my head just a moment ago, which also we'll get to. And I think that was a great move for him to bid his way into the championship for.
Yeah.
But I thought about it just for a second. Mine's going to be Caden Quapple, picking up his first career late model stock win within the CARS Tour. He won the Pro Late Model Championship in 2023 alongside his brother, who won, obviously Carson won the Late Model Stock Championship that year. But I think, Caden Quapple has bounced around a lot this year. He's raced in some super late model stuff. He's done some late model stuff at Tri-County. He's really bounced all over the boards. Because I think
Quapple, race car driver.
Yes, because he has not had any sort of full-time deals this year. He's run part-time with Junior Motorsports and some one-off races. He's done, a lot of stuff with it. It's his Corvette team.
He's ran a lot of the majors for Junior.
Yes, but he has not had the budget anywhere near to do anything full-time. But I think, again, like we said about Landen Huffman, this was an excellent statement for Caden Quapple. I think Caden Quapple, especially the past couple of years, has been overshadowed by Carson. And I think if you stacked them up side by side, Carson is probably the better driver. But I don't think Caden Quapple is as far off as people think he is, and I think he's starting to prove that. Because before this, he ran in the pros, and the pros and late model stocks were very different in how they ran. And so when he was winning that championship, you'd have said, oh, if you put him in the late model stock field, it's going to be a different story. And you could say the same with the competition level from the pro late models to late model stocks, and I'd agree. But I think this year, in his starts in late model stock in the CARS Tour against some of the toughest stock car racing drivers in the world at the short track level, at a local late model stock level, he really elevated his game this year and put a statement on himself and like Landen Huffman said, hey, I'm worthy of opportunity. So I think it was a great statement for him and himself, and I think it was a great moment for him and his family. Travis was his father, was the crew chief like he was many times for his other son, Carson. And so I think it was an awesome moment for him and his family. And where else would you want to win than North Wilkesboro?
North Wilkesboro's the perfect asphalt short track. I've been on here and got on my soapbox, talked about how great of a dirt track Eldora is. North Wilkesboro is, honestly, facility-wise, Eldora and North Wilkesboro are a pretty close mirror of each other.
Yeah. And I think
one's dirt and one's asphalt.
I think North Wilkesboro is on I think North Wilkesboro is on a little bit of a different level just because
it used to be a Cup Series track.
It's built to run Cup Series now.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
The tracks are laid out the same. The infields are laid out the same.
Yep.
The grandstands about the same size.
Because I think North Wilkesboro exists as a kind of on its own island. Like it's built for NASCAR, but it does run short track stuff, but not on a full-time basis. Because pretty much any other short track out there that
exactly.
runs late model stocks would never be able to run NASCAR.
No, but I mean, think about it. Eldora is one of the only 2 dirt tracks that's ran a modern NASCAR race.
That's true. Also,
And,
I say that. I only say all that because I'm biased and think so.
oh, yeah, I know you're biased. I know you're biased, and I am super biased towards the NASCAR too, but I'm saying the 2 tracks, when you look at the history of both
Oh,
of them,
absolutely. I fully agree with you.
They're a mirror of each other.
Yes. If you covered Norfolk Square with dirt, you'd have Eldora.
And I've been to both of them this year, and they're so... You get the same exact feeling going through the gates at both of them.
Man, I'd love to get the opportunity someday to call some dirt races.
Get at the top of the grandstands looking down at the racetrack. Like they are so similar being there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably I think they're my 2 favorite racetracks in the country.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, they're great. But yeah, so that's Bonehead Bad. Let's get into NASCAR.
Gosh, we've been on a heater, I got to say.
I want to gloss over the ARCA West race before we get into the NASCAR playoff stuff. And I know it's ARCA West, and this is in the middle of our championship episode, so to say, but it was Venturini's last race.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a team that has been part of... 1 second. Okay, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay. You're good. This has been a team that's been part of the ARCA series for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that technically they're closing their doors, but technically they're merging with Nitro. So to say that they're not going to be around is kind of a stretch.
Right.
But it's the last race with their official title.
Mm-hmm.
The last race, presumably, that their iconic 25 and 55 cars are going to run.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, they have run as long
they are the
as
ARCA
some
series.
NASCAR. Yeah, I was gonna say as full-time operation NASCAR teams.
And I saw a list of all the drivers that had won for Venturini.
That's like if Lee Pulliam Performance had been running since '85.
Yeah, and there was a social media post, and it was all the drivers that had won a race for Venturini Motorsports. And obviously, Billy Venturini had won several races.
Hey, Joey was on there.
You had Joey, you had Alex Bowman, you had Corey Heim, Jesse Love, Chandler Smith, Christian Eckes. Is just these modern drivers for him. Mm-hmm. And you look at that list, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
This team's for real.
Yeah.
And they have so much history, but I think they have the most modern history of any non-Cup Series team.
Mm-hmm.
They have more modern history than I think even Junior Motorsports or Tricon Garage / Gilliland Racing. When you look at every driver who has raced for them. And I think it's super cool to see one of the last drivers race for them, BJ Davidizian, who we had on here a few episodes ago, because I think she is so hyped up of a prospect and people love being fans of her. And she has a pretty big fan base to be a part-time ARCA, part-time pro late model driver.
Hey, well, with the CARS Tour doing the Pink Glove project right now, she has the highest bidded gloves over Dale Jr.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. And so I think it's super cool that she got to be one of the 3 last drivers to race for Venturini with Taylor Reimer, who was her teammate that week, and also was a teammate with her at KKM in midgets for 3 years. So that's super cool to see them who started their careers together getting to race as teammates for Venturini's last race. And then Thomas Annunziata racing with them as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And Trevor Huddleston won the race. Cool shout out to him.
Yeah, great run for them. Sad to see them go, but of course they'll, be with us in spirit really much with Nitro.
With Nitro.
So not too much there. Of course, before that, jumping back, Brenden Queen with the ARCA Championship. Excellent. He has proved. It's crazy to think that a couple of years.
That's what we're talking about. He earned a truck ride.
It's crazy to think that 4 years ago, this guy was thinking about hanging it all up and going to work at the docks full time. He gets a deal worked out with Lee Pulliam, races in the Cars Tour, wins a championship last year, a deserving championship, gets a ride with PRG this year, wins 8 races in the ARCA season, wins a championship by domination over some really good drivers, and earned a truck ride out of it. I can't say I'm the least bit surprised that he earned a truck ride out of it, because I think if anyone didn't sign Brenden Butterbean Queen after this year, you'd be stupid.
Exactly. Like, I
knew he had it in him on a short track level, but
to watch him
goodness,
win at Daytona was awesome.
Michigan. Plenty of tracks.
He outdueled Corey Heim at Michigan.
Yep.
And that's something that's not talked about a lot. He was racing against Corey Heim, who was in a Venturini car.
Yep.
So against who is most likely and who has himself in a perfect position to be the Truck Series champion and has won the most races of any driver ever in a Truck Series season, to outduel him at a 2-mile racetrack. Super impressive.
Yes, I agree. I think we could definitely see after next year, depending on how the truck season goes, of course, I think we could see Brenden Queen in Xfinity, or which will be O'Reilly, in 2027. So at the least,
finishing out the last few races. I think he's going to run for college. I think
he just ran with Talladega, got involved in a big wreck, but he'll be running Martinsville and Phoenix.
Yeah, which is awesome.
So I'm excited. I'm hyped up. Who doesn't like Brenden Queen? I hope someday I get to talk to him.
Speaking of college racing, I want to give them a quick shout out, fun story from back at the Roval. So when I was working with Victory Junction, one of our interviews we shot to get some content was with Daniel Dye, and it was during the IMSA Ford Mustang GT Challenge on the road course, and we were about to interview him, and he's like, "So well, let's do it in the hauler," and I'm like, Daniel, like, not really pointed at myself, but like, nodded like, I can't get my chair in the hauler. What are you thinking here, buddy? He goes, no, we'll just lower the car lift down, lift it up a little bit, you just drive in the hauler. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Why did nobody think of that? And so we shot the interview inside of the Colleague 10 car hauler, which was super cool, by the way.
That's really hilarious.
The Daniel was just like, and I was like, why didn't I think? And the rest was like, why didn't we think of that? That Daniel was the first person to think to do that.
That's really funny. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so that was a cool shout out for them. So
I can't wait till hopefully the day comes where you and me are both working in NASCAR.
Yeah, I know, right?
So also where we can do this podcast in person. That day's gonna come.
Yes. Oh yeah. So how about Xfinity in Vegas? We got a little off topic there. Xfinity, Almirola and Zilich race to win. Not a whole lot shook up with the playoff picture there.
No.
Because of Almirola not being full-time. Locked himself into the Owners' Championship Final Four, however.
Yes.
So that's shout out to the 19 team. They've been great all year.
They lost it last year just barely.
Yeah, but they've done great all year. So shout out to Almirola. Do you think he roughed up Zilich a little too much? There was some aggressive driving going on between them. It was kind of one of those things where some people were mad that Almirola roughed him up.
Nothing sticks out to me from thinking about when I watched the race, so no.
And I mean, and we've had over a week to set on it now, so I don't think he roughed him up too bad. Yeah.
The more drivers that come in like Almirola that battle Zilich, the more Zilich learns.
And the better. I mean, obviously, I don't want to see Kyle Larson and William Byron
running every race.
I don't want to see them win 25 of the 35 Xfinity races in a year, but I think drivers like Almirola, Daniel Suarez, guys like that, or maybe even see Casey Kane back in Xfinity some more. He ran a one-off race this year. But drivers who are towards the end of their Cup career, are not full-time, but are a Cup caliber driver, they need to be in Xfinity. Or drivers that are on the fringe of Cup and Xfinity, when they run Xfinity, it is healthy for the development of these young guys.
That's the best way it could have been said. Healthy for the development of these young drivers. You're never you're only as good as the competition around you.
Exactly.
And for Zilich, he is beating his competition day in, day out, race after race. And so it's good for him and other drivers to come and compete. You know, it's good for Justin Allgaier. It's good for Sam Mayer. It's good for all these other drivers around. It's good for Taylor Gray. For these drivers that run Cup and any of them, for them to come in and battle with these other drivers that are better than them. And so to continue to improve so that when maybe one day when they get to Cup, that gap is not as far. And, you know, a bad season, one bad full-time season in the Cup Series as a rookie can, you know, I mean, we saw it for John Hunter Nemechek. It can take your path, put you off path by years.
Chandler Smith.
Or, I was going to say, Chandler Smith or others, you know, it can take you off that path completely.
Yeah. And I think that, I'm trying to think, because I know the rules, 5 Xfinity races for a full-time Cup driver per year, and none in the playoffs. I think that Cup Series
it's none in the playoffs?
None in the playoffs. They can't race a
Really?
playoff race if you're a full-time Cup driver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
5 regular season races. But I think that rule should be exempt for Cup Series rookies, except the playoffs. I don't want them racing in the playoffs. I don't want them interfering. But I think Cup Series rookies, or even drivers within
Do you think Cup Series rookies, though, need to be focused on Xfinity races?
No, but they need to. I think it's good to keep their confidence up because that jump from Xfinity to Cup is brutal.
You think they need more than 5, though?
I don't think they need 30, but I think there shouldn't be a limit. That should be up to the teams and the drivers because I don't think a team is going to go out of their way to put a Cup driver in a bad position. I don't think they're going to try to stunt the development.
I mean, you could argue, you know, that's maybe what, you know, William Sawalich needed this year. You know, as
to go
in the Xfinity. If you say put that, if Sawalich was running in Cup and did what he did this year in Xfinity, he would say in that scenario he would need to go down, you know, get a win, get a good run to build confidence.
Yeah, and even drivers who are in, you know, their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th year and don't have a win, so maybe make it an 8 or an experienced thing. 5 years. Within your first 5 years of Cup, you can race as many Xfinity races as you want. Because tell me that right now, running, not full-time, but 10 to 15 Xfinity races a year isn't exactly what, I'm just going to say all 3 front row drivers need.
Yeah.
I'm going to use them as an example because they were all 3 standouts in trucks and Xfinity.
Yes, they were amazing.
And they are all 3 struggling in Cup, which I'm going to say we're putting too much pressure on young drivers who are not at Hendrick, Gibbs, or Penske to be winners early on because
absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Like I love Noah Gragson.
Front row has one non-super speedway win in their existence, and it was because of not a rain out, a fog out.
When?
Chris Buescher won his first career race due to a race canceled for fog at Pocono.
Oh.
Yeah. So a race that got fogged out is how Front Row has their only non-super speedway win. So to be putting pressure, why hasn't Noah Gragson? Why is Noah Gragson not in the top 30 in points? Because he's on Front Row racing and he doesn't have that much experience. Yeah. I don't want to act
also,
like
I think
teams...
Noah Gragson has been the most unlucky driver in the Cup Series this year.
Oh, yeah, but you see the point I mean. I think we're putting too much pressure on these. Even Carson Hocevar, that's ran in the top 10 and had top 5 speed at times, that's a Spire car. Calm down with him winning a race right now.
Yeah. Well, and think about the jump from the Xfinity car to this 7th gen car. I mean,
from the truck to it that Hocevar made.
It is so different. That's one thing that's another whole other conversation. That's a big thing I don't like about the 7th gen car is because it should not be that big of a jump. You shouldn't have to be learning a whole brand new car in that's different from your entire development. But that's besides the point.
It needs to be a meaner, bigger, badder version of the Xfinity car.
Exactly. I think again, a whole other thing. If you put the Cup field in the Xfinity car, you'd have a massive jump in NASCAR viewership.
You know that meme, Pure Cinema?
Yes.
That's what it would be.
I agree. Anyway.
But yeah.
Vegas.
We're still talking about Vegas.
Good Xfinity race.
Corey Day got a top 5 too.
I know. Look, We question Corey, the plan with Corey Day's development. I still question it. I still think it's really weird that they've put him in Trans Am, Xfinity truck. He's still doing
ARCA.
dirt stuff, ARCA. Like, he is way too all over the board. But in the past, back half of this year, I think he's
showing speed and showing
living,
consistency.
I think he's
because
living,
he has showed.
Ah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he's living up to what,
We expected.
who is it? Oh my goodness. Jeff Gordon and Kyle Larson have said about him. For him to be so spread out and spread probably so thin with the different kinds of cars he's racing at the different tracks, the different times, for him to overcome that and get these good results, very impressive.
And that's one thing I'm going to say. He's shown the speed at times, but he has not been able to put races together. Mm-hmm. He has been really fast and made a mistake, which he's done that in the sprint car.
He's like 18?
Yeah, he's 19, and he's done that in the sprint car before. So, yeah, you're giving him a race that's 5 times as long. Yeah, the mistakes are going to happen. We've been hard on him, and probably justifiably so because he is in a Hendrick car.
Mm-hmm.
But the improvement's showing, so that's how I think it's a success because he is starting to put the pieces together.
Yeah.
Okay. Cup at Vegas. Denny Hamlin beat your favorite driver.
60th win. He was
Kevin
emotional.
Harvick, 10th all time.
He was emotional. I mean, I was not mad. I'm not happy with Denny being a part of the championship 4 because, again, not a Denny Hamlin fan. I really don't want him to win a championship just because I don't like him. But I think I'm not as mad about this win as in general.
No, and I think I'm going to say
he earned
this,
it. He earned it.
Me as a race fan, not super happy right now. Me as someone that shares this podcast with you and someone who makes a hobby out of talking about racing, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it is a story that now has been going on for 20 years of his career, and it is the last 10 years of it has been, is he going to win a championship or is he going to blow it again?
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here talking about it. And we're one race away from the cut line for the Final Four, and Denny Hamlin might be the favorite to win this championship.
Denny Hamlin, for the past decade, has been the Dallas Cowboys of, is this our year? Like, this is our year. That is Denny Hamlin. Is this the year for Denny Hamlin? And, again, this is our first year with the B-Main podcast. But I would say there has been no better year for Denny Hamlin to have this shot. I really do.
Exactly.
And you also say this could be the last shot. You never know if 2026 could roll around and Denny Hamlin could fall off the rails. I mean, really.
And you see a lot of how many drivers have we seen get to their mid-40s and
then
just
plummet?
Disappear?
Exactly. Like, I mean, they could have an amazing year the year before, and then boom, they're just gone.
I mean, outside of Mark Martin, who had the best year of his career when he was 51.
Yeah.
Which was.
That's a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, any conversation we have about age and you bring up Mark Martin, I'm just going to ignore you because
he's a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, in every he's just
But so I don't want to see him win the championship just because I don't really love him, but I think this is his best opportunity. Winning in the first round, he has had all of this time for the team to prepare and himself to prepare. It is almost as dangerous. I think it's more dangerous than getting Logano to Phoenix.
Hey, it is an odd number year, so I'm not going to be any sort of...
I know, I've thought about that too.
I'm like, ugh. I'm going to Martinsville this week, so I'm going to be like stressed out the whole week.
Yeah, I know. Gosh, I wish I could be there.
I stress eat, so how many hot dogs do you think I'm going to eat?
A lot.
How
much do you weigh?
I weigh between 80 and 90 pounds, so I'm going to be at least 5% hot dog by the end of the week.
I was going to say, I think you could get 10%. I'm not going to lie. Well,
I'm going to be 10% Martinsville hot dog. Maybe
90%
8 pounds for
Gavin,
Martinsville hot.
10% Martinsville,
Martinsville
10%
hot.
Gavin.
I should get a shirt that says that.
You should. I think it'd be hilarious.
90% Gavin, 10% hot dog.
I think you should. It'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny.
But Denny Hamlin has the best shot this year, and
Yeah.
all props to him. I mean, kudos.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah. Talladega. We haven't even talked about Talladega yet. We're probably going to wrap this up because Talladega was cool, but they were very good, uneventful races, if that makes any sense.
They were good races. Nothing crazy, though. I mean, Gio Ruggiero gets his first win in trucks. I think
awesome.
I think, hey, what did I say earlier this year?
Gio's going to get a win.
I did.
And I said, I don't know. I was the one of the three of us that doubted his ability to get the win. And once again, my takes are freezing cold.
Yeah. Well, he had good performance all year. And think about it. He barely missed the cut for the round of 8. If he would have been, he'd be going to the championship 4, which he's not. You can say if all day long. But again, he was the second best Tricon car by a good margin, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah. The 4 Tricon trucks have such a gap between each of them. It is kind of goofy.
It's weird.
Because there is a significant gap between all 4, which I feel like there's a significant gap between Corey Heim and everybody in the truck series. So whatever. But I mean,
Gio Ruggiero, again, we don't know the plan for Corey Heim. We still don't know. But I'd be absolutely bewildered bonkers if he was not in a Cup Series ride next year. And if that is the case,
at some capacity.
If that is the case, Gio Ruggiero will be the leading man at Tricon.
Yeah, and I think Gio's going to do pretty good at it. I like Gio. I'm a Gio fan.
I am as well.
So that was a fun win. Get to listen to on the radio.
Like he didn't just luck into it at a super speedway, and it's not like he hadn't shown speed all year. I mean, he is out of the gate at Daytona, finished second, but he's had great performances on quote unquote regular ovals, mile and a halves, and short tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
Xfinity, Austin Hill, controversial win to the fans.
Yeah, controversial win to the fan. I mean, he didn't do anything controversial.
I was going to say,
just Austin Hill.
He won it straight up. It's just Austin Hill at a drafting track.
And he did flip off all the fans afterwards, which was hilarious.
I'd be surprised if he didn't get fined for that.
I don't know, but did you see?
Was
did you
it
not
on
see the
TV?
Picture of it? I don't know if it was on TV or not, but there was a fan that during his burnout took a picture of him, and you can see him hanging his middle finger out the window.
I'd be surprised if he didn't get fined for that.
I don't know, but it's funny.
We'll see you on tomorrow or Wednesday.
Yeah. And then on the Cup side, Chase Briscoe locks himself in.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah. Let's talk about Carson.
There we go. Great
run on the last few laps.
Gosh, he was so close. Second. He started back at restart in like 15th.
Yeah, and I have been wanting him all year. I've been saying, man, he's going to get his win. He's going to get his win. And it's just like so close, but so far.
Yes.
I'm not even going to say this could be the week. I'm just going to ignore anything about him maybe winning one of the last 2 races and just say, just go out and do what you can do.
Because
he's still alive for the championship.
I know.
I mean, outside of Zillage.
He's 11 points up on the cut line.
I mean, I would say out of all the drivers left, yeah, he's 4th and in the last of the spot in the Final 4 right now, but obviously he is the 3rd favorite to win it.
I mean, even without winning this year, this is a great rookie season. And if it weren't for
we could have 2 rookies. We could have half the Final 4 be rookies.
And if it weren't for Connor Zilic, I would say Carson Kvapil will probably be the rookie of the year for the Xfinity Series, just with his performance. And I think I worry that a lot of fans are like, oh yeah, Carson Kvapil, he hasn't won yet in a junior motorsports car. But I mean, look at what he's done still. I mean, he's gotten all the way to the round of 8. He
went from the
top
CARS
fives.
Tour to Xfinity in an offseason.
Not even ARCA.
He skipped. He went from outside of NASCAR to Xfinity.
Yes. We talk
And
about how improbable it is from ARCA to Xfinity, like William Sawalich and Jesse Love did. And guess what? He's right with Jesse Love, and he's done way better than Sawalich.
yeah, exactly.
And they're all around the same age, within 3 years of each other.
Yeah. So
Carson Kvapil will be a staple in the sport of NASCAR. I think he just needs to win to unlock the rest of his confidence because he's got the talent, he's got the team, he's got everything behind him. I think he just needs to win to get that last little bit. Like next year, I think if he finds those extra rides to get him a full-time season in the O'Reilly Series, he's a threat for the championship.
He's a threat for the championship now.
Exactly.
I mean, Zilich's probably going to win
I think I think there'd be outrage if Zilich didn't win it.
If Zilich doesn't win this championship,
NASCAR might have to just scrap it all. I'm serious.
Okay, imagine if Zilich and Heim go 0-2 at Phoenix in 2 weeks. What happens? Like,
honestly, that I don't even like to think about that because I think fans would be so outraged that.
Will there be how much bootleg championship merchandise will there be of both of them if neither of them win?
Oh my gosh, so much.
That'll be hilarious, and that'll be hilarious, and people will be wearing it to Daytona as a protest to NASCAR, which would be hilarious, by the way.
Not even like I have prayed about my career in the future. I believe the Lord has me in broadcasting, and I hope someday that it's for NASCAR. So with that and what I believe and what the Lord has made me believe, I don't think NASCAR is going anywhere ever. I don't think we have to worry about the sport
NASCAR's
dying.
great. We love it.
But I think the sport would take a big hit if Connor Zilich or Corey Heim didn't win the championship.
I think it would be as much of a hit in viewership and fan retention as much as it would be fan respect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because I think NASCAR's fan base is so passionate that
they're not going anywhere.
They're not going. They might be loud and negative. They might do like the NFL does to Roger Goodell every draft day, where every time he goes out and announces a pick, he gets booed. They might do that to everybody at NASCAR, but they're still going to be there. They're still going to be making noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dang. We are. This is a long one.
It is a long one. Well, let's wrap it up. Let's talk about the Cup Series at Talladega. Clutch win. I mean, really. Can you believe this? A driver who before this year had only 2 wins in, 3 years? And is now he has 3 wins this year, handfuls of top 5s, and he's in the Final 4. I mean, I think we all believe Chase Briscoe is talented, even when he was at SHR, but I didn't think he was this talented.
Well, here's the thing, and I watched him outduel Kyle Busch when Kyle Busch was still at Gibbs in an Xfinity race at Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment, because you look at Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, when they were having, even Chase Elliott, when they were having historical Xfinity seasons, when Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Carl Edwards, Joey Logano showed up,
they won.
They ran ahead of them, and they won. And it was an anomaly for even Chase Elliott at those times to win. He would still do it from time to time, but when Chase Briscoe outdueled Kyle Busch at probably the hardest track to race at in NASCAR, at the peak of Kyle Busch's powers, really, that was the moment where I was like, this guy is an amazing driver, and he's different than all of these other prospects that are great.
Yeah.
Because he was racing, he was a little bit after the two of them, but Chris Buescher and Austin Cindric were still around Xfinity a lot at this time.
Yeah.
And this was not very far removed from Chase, Bubba, and Larson being in Xfinity, and he was better than just about all of them except maybe Larson, Blaney, and Chase Elliott, but at that time, at what he was doing in Xfinity was more impressive than anything any of them had done in Xfinity.
Yeah.
And I think it was that moment specifically to me that was like, I don't think anything this guy does in his career is going to surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be tough for him to beat Denny Hamlin. You never know what can happen, but I think he's got a good, legitimate shot. and I think
Joe
he's
Gibbs
had
has a
50% chance, at least.
They have a chance to have a 75% chance to win going into Phoenix.
Yeah.
Would be insane to put 3 drivers from an organization in the final.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, we've seen teams put 2 in. We've seen Hendrick put 2. We've seen Penske and Gibbs put 2 in.
Who do you think's making it?
Well, obviously Denny and Briscoe are making it.
Yeah. The other two.
I mean, if I'm going to go with my gut straight up, based on what's happened this year and what's happened at short tracks in recent memory in the Gen 7 car, I think Bell points his way in. And I think if Larson doesn't make it in, I think it's going to be Chase Elliott winning at Martinsville.
Really?
I think Chase Elliott can win at Martinsville. But
See,
I'm not saying he's a favorite. I think Chase Elliott has a better shot to win than Kyle Larson at Martinsville. Okay. And I think Christopher Bell is probably going to be the one to make it in on points.
Here's the crazy thing.
And Penske has been, even from what they were when Blaney's off from his championship in 23. Blaney is not what he was in 23. He's still good, but he hasn't been able to finish off races. And I think Joey's best chances to win are at the 3/4 of a mile to mile and a quarter tracks more than a half mile at Martinsville.
Here's the crazy thing.
He has performed in this position time and time again.
It's true.
The 6 drivers that are competing for 2 spots, I wouldn't be surprised if any of them won this race at Martinsville. But I think Christopher Bell is going to be the one to make it in on points.
Well, and saying that, Bell is the only one of these drivers that in recent years hasn't won at Martinsville. All the rest of them have. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, and
That's
Kyle
why I think
Larson.
he'll make it in on points.
Well, exactly, and I think that's a great point. Like that's why I'm saying that's why I would feel I don't know who else to call because all of them have won at Martinsville, and I believe in a clutch scenario like this could do it.
And here's the thing. Who is harder? Who are you going to bet against in a clutch situation? Penske or Hendrick?
Hendrick.
But you see what I'm saying? Both of those teams have performed with their backs against the wall time and time again over their entire existence.
This is the beauty of the playoffs that we like.
This is because there's 6 drivers competing for 2 spots.
And they all could easily do it.
And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. You put the 8 drivers in the 8 best drivers in the sport right now were the 8 that made the round of 8.
I think so.
Hands down, no questions asked. The 8 best drivers, I think the 8 most talented, the 8 smartest, the 8 with the best racecraft, and the 8 with probably the best cars are the ones that are in the finals, right, or the semifinal round right now.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I think this race at Martinsville, if it doesn't end up being a great race, I'm going to be mad because I want Joey to make it super bad. Like,
me too.
I hope he gets a 4th championship. And just to back up what he's done in this system before to say, oh, well, it's luck. Okay, if he does it twice, okay, maybe it's a little bit of good luck in being good at Phoenix. Okay, but 3 times. Why are you mad that it's luck because he keeps doing it?
I was going to say.
But if he does it 4 times, you cannot dispute that he is the most clutch driver in NASCAR.
Yes.
And if Blaney does it, everybody loves Ryan Blaney. NASCAR is better when Ryan Blaney's champion.
Yes.
Chase Elliott, most popular driver. Kyle Larson, probably the most raw, talented oval driver in the world.
I think
and Christopher Bell, who is Christopher Bell.
I think the only people that could win the championship that don't give a massive boost in some format, negative or positive, to NASCAR would be William Byron or Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell.
Just because I think a lot of fans underrate them. I think no one talks about Christopher Bell or William Byron as much, but they're both amazing drivers, and they deserve to be talked about. But anyway, just talking about these 8 drivers in some format would have a good light on NASCAR winning this championship. And so I think it's This is the beauty of the playoffs that we love.
And I know that they're not all the straight up top 8 in regular season standings right now, but let's say we have a full season points format. At the start of the year, they would be the 8 that I would pick to be the top 8.
And
if they
6
had
out of the 8 of them would make it.
And if we had a chase format, that's the 8 I'm going to say are going to be the top 8.
Yeah.
Like, I think no matter what measurable system you are using, these are the 8 best drivers in NASCAR right now.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I think this is the beauty of the playoffs, and it is in a great spot right now. And I have said I've tried to defend the playoffs as much as I can, and I think it's a flawed system. But I can't not be excited going into Martinsville when we start talking about it.
Absolutely.
And I think even though it's a very flawed format, it is a format with a lot of beauty in it.
Mm-hmm.
The chase format, I think, has a lot of beauty in it. I think the chase format's my favorite of the 3. And the regular season format is just pure traditional straight-up racing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all 3 formats really do have a way to be great, unless it's dirt late model racing, and then throw the playoffs out the window and burn them with a flamethrower. Devin Moran, you are still the champion, though, and I'm not taking anything away from you. It's just frustrating.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm hoping for some excellent racing out of Martinsville. Yeah. I love Martinsville. Hopefully next year when I get to move to North Carolina and I'm still working at Sobo, I get to go to a lot of Martinsville races, and I'm excited. I love Martinsville. I really do. I wish I could be there with you. I know you're going to have a great time. The fans will be watching, and the fans will be watch along on all of our socials. Gavin will be posting Twitter and on Instagram, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited. When we come back, we'll know our NASCAR champions. We'll know pretty much all of our champions for the most part except World of Outlaws. And it's going to be another great episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you want to sponsor us or get in touch with us, the B-Main Podcast 2024 at gmail.com is the way you can reach out to us. Well, so this has been a great episode 20. I think this has been one of our best episodes to date, Gavin.
Hey, for episode 20, we hit 2 hours.
Let's go. Hey, 2-0. And let's cut it there.
Yeah. All right.
See y'all later.
See ya.